First up, I want to introduce Curtis Johnson. Curtis is currently the division chief of Boulder County, and in January will be our new Boulder County Sheriff. Yeah, absolutely. For the last 24 years, he's lived in Louisville, and while he was at work on December 30th, some of you may know, he also lost his house in the Marshall Fire. My grandfather, like Curtis, spent his career and his life as a first responder, rooted in one community, serving until they kicked him out, pretty much. Which I expect from Curtis as well. You're just getting started, right? Yeah. So I'm very grateful for you joining us tonight and sharing a bit of your story. And at that, Curtis Johnson.
Thank you, Jessica. So, as Jessica said, I got up on December 30th and ended up going into work about 11 a.m. because of a little fire that was burning. And I never for a moment thought that I would lose my home. I thought I lived someplace safe that would be far away from danger. And at 9 p.m., one of my coworkers said, "We got to get in a car and go take a look because you need to know where you're at." And my neighborhood, which is Coal Creek South over by Vista Hospital, lots of news footage of that neighborhood. There used to be 140 homes in the neighborhood. 139 of them are gone. And never on December 30th or a year ago or 5 years ago did I think I would face the prospect of having to build a new home. And it's a daunting task when you're trying to manage insurance, run a campaign and try to get elected, keep your family life together while living in a 2-bedroom apartment with a bunch of 25-year-olds running around outside. It became almost overwhelming to my wife and I. And after processing what we had lost and figuring out that we really wanted to get back to our property, because to us, part of that resiliency piece is beating the fire. And the only way I feel I can do that is to build a super cool house on my lot in my neighborhood and get back to my community that I'd lived in for 24 years. And I first want to say thank you to the Guild for putting this event together, because to the degree that our budgets can support it, we want to build the best house we can. And we've turned the corner on grieving what we lost, and we now see opportunity. And can we build a super cool, super efficient, resilient, sustainable home in a neighborhood that used to be filled with 30-year-old homes that were not as efficient, not nearly fire resistant, and not built to codes that are current today. And it's been a struggle for many of our friends because varying insurance coverages, varying opportunities, and even for some, a challenge of even wanting to go back to that neighborhood, having lost everything there. So thank you for your support, because our goal is to build back to the degree that our insurance will support it, which for us has been pretty good, the most efficient, the most 2023 capable house that we can, where a 1990 house used to stand. And so without events like this, we don't see the technology. We don't understand all of the ratings and all of the bits and pieces that go into making an efficient green home. But we also struggle with the incentives and the opportunities that come with that, and the ability to get rebates. And the more we do, the more money we can get back in our pocket or back into our budget to support our build. So our goal, and we are this close to going to permitting in Louisville to get a permit. We're hopeful we will have Thanksgiving dinner next year in our new home and use our induction cooktop and our all-electric appliances to make that happen. But I appreciate the opportunity, and I ask all of you in the Build community to please give us some grace. We're new at this. None of us expected to build a home. We're struggling to figure that out. We don't know how we're going to pay for it exactly all the time, but some of us are absolutely committed to building back better. And I ask any of you in the community that are rebuilding a home to consider the more resilient and sustainable homes that we build together, that builds a community and a network and a neighborhood that as a whole may be more resistant to fire, will reduce the impact on our climate, because our county is not a stranger to disaster. Between the 4 Mile fire, the 2013 floods, the Calwood fire, there will be more disaster in our community. And disasters will stretch further into our community as the climate continues to do wonky things to the weather, and we will face this again. It may not be here in Marshall. It might be Lyons to Longmont. It may be Jefferson County. But everything that we can do to support our homes and make our homes safer and smarter and better benefits all of our neighbors together. So I ask that you consider building to the best of your ability, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I look forward to someday having an open house with a super cool new home. Thanks.
Thank you, Curtis.
Thank you.
So Curtis and I talked a few times before this event, and a few things really stood out to me. One, it was, I don't know, I mean, I'm not doing a passive house. Is that okay? And I said, there are no scorecards. You're doing great. We are here for it. We are here for whatever your path looks like. And I just want to be super clear. CGBG is not here to like set an agenda for you. We're here to give you options. I have 3 family members who have lost 3 separate homes in 3 separate wildfires since 2017. And this is the first time I felt like I could help. So it took me 5 years, and I'm an architect. So I also just want to say that I am incredibly humbled, and I know the entire board is incredibly humbled by the passion and commitment of the homeowners that were impacted by this fire. I think it is your passion that brought incredible homeowner groups together, that brought local jurisdictions together on your behalf, that brought Excel on your behalf. It really is. You have pushed architects and the building community, builders and designers who never would have considered these things. They're all like, somebody called me asking about passive house. What do I do? I'm like, preach, okay. Let's talk about it. And maybe passive house, which is a complicated thing if anybody's figured it out yet, maybe it's the perfect answer. There are 4 different ways to be passive house. Maybe it's not the perfect answer. But there are great answers, and they are safer homes and healthier homes than we had in 1990 or 2001 or 5 years ago. So thank you very much. We have one other speaker tonight. Actually, we have 3 more